All right. Hello there. And in my world, it is good morning. And welcome to week 3, day 16, and lesson 16 in the workbook lesson for students in A Course in Miracles. And my name is Oliver Blue, and I am delighted to be your guide in this next few moments as we journey through these workbook lessons. And there seems to be a shift that is taking place in what we're going to be learning today. And I'm excited about this particular lesson, a very crucial lesson in our um, journey um, to undo the way that we think, have been conditioned to think, and to move to a awareness of right thinking, and which the course calls Christ's vision or true perception. Okay, so today's lesson is uh, has the idea that is introducing to us that is very important in this mind training reversal or rejuvenation of the mind or the renewing of the mind. And it says, I have no neutral thoughts. I have no neutral thoughts. And what is a neutral thought? It says the idea for today is the beginning step in dispelling the belief that your thoughts have no effect. So a neutral thought would be a thought that has no effect. But if you reason here, it's saying that all thoughts has some effects. They're not neutral. None are neutral. Or the ones that you have are not neutral. It says they have some effect. Everything you see is the results of your thoughts. Okay, we're back on the seeing part of this transformation. And it says everything that I see is a result of my thinking. So thinking produces seeing. It says that there is no exception to this fact. It is a fact that everything that you see is the result of the way that you think or a result of your thoughts, and that your thoughts are not neutral. This lesson here that we're going through today is designed to dispel the myth that we have neutral thoughts or that our thoughts have no effect. It's teaching us today that our thoughts do have effect. It says there is no exception to this fact. Thoughts are no thoughts are not big or little, powerful or weak. They're saying that all thoughts are the same. It says, but they are merely true or false. Okay. So thoughts are not measured in terms of what we would generally think of as natural forms by looking at the form of, we'd look at this bottle and say, well, this bottle is 16 ounces or 8 ounces, or this bottle is plastic, or this bottle contains water. It says the thoughts are not measured or determined by the form of a thing, but it is the only measurement that we can assign to a thought is whether or not it is true or false, real or unreal. That is the question. Is it real or is it not? We have already gone through what we use to test something that is real versus something that is not real. Remember, we said if it's real, it's inalterable, it's unalterable, it's changeless, it's timeless, it's unambiguous, it has no beginning, it has no end. Um, it can be unrecognized, but it can't be changed. It's synonymous with the word heaven, Christ, love, Holy Spirit, God, Jesus, or any other label that we use to ascribe to the one creator, the one being. And what we come to find out is it doesn't matter what you call them, because what you call them don't make it be what it is. It is what it is. Love presence is God is. I am. It's that's the unchangeability, the essential nature of reality is that it is, and we can't do anything about it. So there are no exceptions to this fact. Thoughts are not big or little, powerful or weak. They are merely true or false. Those that are true creates in their own likeness. Reality only creates in its own likeness. It extends itself. Thoughts that are true will extend themselves because that's what creation is. It's an extension. It's not a process of what we think about when we think about making something, taking something else and making something. But in true creation, that which is real extends itself. There's only the one. So when God created you, guess what he did? He extended himself and called himself you or I am. That's why you use that phrase more than any other phrase you use in your life. I am this, I am that, I am, I am, I am. The one thing that you do know is that you are, I am. You are conscious, you are aware. I am aware. You may not know why you are aware. You may not know for what purpose you are aware, but you do know that you are aware. You know that you're conscious. That is the you that is in the imagination or image of God. Trees aren't aware. No other uh, created form has the awareness of a human being. Unlimited, infinite awareness is what you are. And because of that, what you think about is not neutral. It has effects. You are a creative being. You've been creating all your life. If you don't believe me, just check out the results that you have in your life right now. They are a direct result of your creation. You've created a status of, where you live, what you do, what you have, what you give, how you express yourself. You created all of that. You are a creative being, and your thoughts are not neutral. It's a fact. So it says, those that are true, your thoughts that are true create like their own. And those thoughts that are not true make theirs. They make theirs. Those that are true create. Those that are false make. There is no more self contradictory concept than that of idle thoughts. That's the biggest contradictory concept is that our thoughts are idle. that they don't mean anything. And of course, he's thinking, well, didn't we have a lesson that says my thoughts, these meaningless thoughts? Yeah. And what made them meaningless is what? The fact that you were not seeing them for what they are in the present. You was just, your mind was preoccupied with the past, which is an illusion. That's what made them meaningless. But that doesn't mean that they don't have effect. They do have effect. Meaningless thoughts can have effect because we make things with meaningless thoughts. With thoughts that are meaningful, we extend those thoughts, which is called creation. There is no more self contradictory concept than that of idle thoughts. What give rise to the perception of a whole world can hardly be called idle. Now, this is a big shift here in what we traditionally believe about the creation of heaven and earth. I know the Bible says in the beginning God created heaven and earth. But just think about earth in its broken, suffering, distorted state. Think about it. Nowhere near perfect as we would attest perfection. So if it's that way, and we know that creation is extension, then is it possible for a perfect God or a perfect love to create such a broken down entity we call earth? Think about that. And if perfect presence didn't create it, where did his creation come from? Let's keep going. It says, every thought you have contributes to truth or to illusion. Either we are having thoughts about truth or reality, or we're having thoughts about illusion, that which is not real, that which is just a regurgitation of the past. Either it extends the truth, your thoughts either extend the truth or it multiplies illusions. So when we think and our thoughts are not in alignment with reality or what is true, then what we're doing is multiplying that which doesn't exist. We're multiplying an illusion. And how much time do we spend in thoughts that are not true? Thoughts of judgment and condemnation, thoughts of fear, thoughts of sickness and disease and death, and thoughts of lack, scarcity. How much time do we spend on fear thoughts? So, because we know fear thoughts they're not real. They're based on the past, so they're illusion. And so it says that if we are spending time thinking like that, then we are just multiplying illusions. Oh my God. Really? uh, it says, you can indeed multiply nothing, but you will not extend it by doing so. We can multiply thoughts that are not true, but we can't extend them. We can't take them and make truth out of them. Besides, you are recognizing that thoughts are never idle. Salvation requires that you also recognize that every thought you have brings either peace or war, either love or fear. Every thought either brings peace or war, love or fear. A neutral result is impossible because a neutral thought is impossible. Very important. A neutral thought is impossible. It either brings the idea of peace in war or love and fear. You can take every thought you think and put it in one of those categories, either on the left side where reality is, on the right side where unreality is. The left side is peace and love. On the right side is going to be um, fear and war. A neutral result is impossible because a neutral thought is impossible. There is such a temptation to dismiss fear thoughts as unimportant, trivial, and not worth bothering about. It is essential that you recognize them all as equally destructive, but equally unreal. We will practice this idea in many forms before you really understand it. What idea? That thoughts are either that thoughts are important. They're not unimportant, but they are important and they are worthy of you recognizing that all are equally destructive, but equally unreal. As equally destructive, but equally unreal. We will practice this idea in many forms. And applying the idea for today, so here's today's exercise. Search your mind for a minute or so with eyes closed. So today, in our exercise, our mind is closed, and we actively seek not to overlook any little thought that may tend to elude our search or the search. This is quite difficult until you get used to it. You will find that it is still hard for you not to make artificial distinctions. Every thought that occurs to you, regardless of the qualities that you assign to it, is a suitable subject for applying today's idea. Remember, there's no exception when we're doing the exercises. In the practice period, first, repeat the idea to yourself. I have no neutral thoughts. That's the idea. And then as each thought cross your mind, hold it in awareness while you tell yourself, this thought about money, I'm just using an example, is not a neutral thought. This thought about my son is not a neutral thought. As usual, use today's idea whenever you are aware of a particular thought that arouses uneasiness. So even as you go through the day, at any point that you are thinking, and that thinking or those thoughts are arousing uneasiness in you, apply the idea for today. And you can say, um, this is a suggested way to do it. Say, this thought about my job is not a neutral thought because I have no neutral thoughts. So that's the way you can apply the exercise or the idea for today is anytime there's any uneasiness in your day, take this idea for the day. I have no neutral thoughts and apply it to that thought that is causing uneasiness in you. Okay? You can do 4 or 5 practice periods today, which is recommended. And if you find them relatively effortless, uh, you can complete all 4 or 5 periods. If strain is experienced, 3 will be enough. The length of the exercise period should also be reduced if there is discomfort. So if doing of any of these exercises cause you any discomfort, you can reduce the number of uh, times that you apply it. Because this is not about your discomfort. This is not about making you uncomfortable or producing discomfort in you. This is a systematic way in which We are engaged in mind training to where we are renewing our minds. We're giving up thinking and seeing, uh, from the ego thought system of separation, guilt, sin, consciousness, and fear. We're giving that up and we're embracing Christ's vision, true perception, by embracing the truth only, recognizing the truth only, being aware of what is real and what is not, about you, about your creator, and about the world you live in. That's what it's all about. This is lesson 16. Have a great day. You have no neutral thoughts, and that's a fact. Bye-bye.